Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ramachandra, Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha. Today I'd like to speak about certain telltale signs that I've observed which signal a major earthquake within the next few months, quite imminent, and or somewhere in the mid part of this year. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our viewers for their patience. Since I've not been very regular with YouTube these many days, I've just focused more on my sadhana, exploring Divya Kshetras and going on spiritual pilgrimages, which I believe have really changed the way I look at things, and also been catching up with sadhana lately, Sandhya Vandanam and Gayatri Japa. So all of this definitely has not allowed me to be very regular on YouTube. But this is something I really thought I should be speaking about, since it is my duty as a Jyotishi to just tell whatever I see or the intuitions that I get, even if it is risky to speak about this in public. So that's one thing. And secondly, the research is still ongoing in these fields. It's extremely complex and it's not as simple. And definitely there's no magic involved here. Intuition is something very complex. It's very spiritual, but research requires something also very, very complex. We need to analyze tens of thousands of even minor to major quakes and connect them with astrological positions and use, advanced data analytic systems to understand, exactly when and where an earthquake could happen. This is again in its very nascent phases, and we have some very bright minds working with us on, in this field. However, this might take more time to come out very clearly, and we'll introduce you all to a newer system very soon, probably in the next 2 or 3 months. But before that, I just wanted to present what I personally was thinking with my personal research that I had conducted over a smaller database, about 100 to 200 earthquakes and certain seismic zones instead of a complete analysis. So the major areas where this is likely to happen would be one somewhere around Mexico and western United States, southwestern United States, and number two somewhere around the northwestern South America. As you can see, these two zones primarily. I might be a little off on this, but this is somewhere, intuition wise, I was feeling it could happen here. Or the other region, which is also very interesting when I was working on it, was somewhere around Tibet, Nepal, and Assam. This sector, the Himalayan, seismic zone as such. So that's one area where things could go wrong as well. So one needs to be very careful in these zones. But this is nothing extremely concrete. But I'm very, very. I feel very strongly that an earthquake could happen in one of these three zones. Next, the basis for this prediction is very simple. One, it's intuition, and number two, as I mentioned earlier, it's data from previous earthquakes, and that's the primary basis. The most likely time frames, number one, within the next 2 months, the second or third week of March, which is quite imminent, March 2025. Number two, August to October 2025. And apart from that, it'll be clearer as research progresses in this direction. At the moment, it is at its nascent phases. And now I'd like to showcase the purpose of this video. First of all, many people question the purpose of astrological predictions. Whether they're accurate or not is a secondary question. So far, the predictions I've made using Jyotisha have crossed an accuracy percentage of over 90 and probably even 94 based on a recent estimate that I made. The purpose of my predictions, number one, stem from duty. So it is a duty of a Jyotishi to warn individuals across the globe of whatever he sees when he looks at the planetary positions or patterns that he observes. This is the primary purpose of a Jyotishi. Now again, what is the reason behind this purpose that our sages have told us? As with my other predictions, my individual purpose of making these predictions is very simple. I had predicted the COVID-19 outbreak, or, as with the other predictions of, say, the Israel-Hamas war or, the economic recessions, the primary purpose is to help people understand the importance of their karma and to make them more mindful of their karma, mindful of the consequences of their karma. Jyotisha is the pratyaksha darshaka, that is, the pratyaksha darshaka of one's own, karma. It is the only science which can show you in the pratyaksha form. Pratyaksha means, in a direct evidence form, that your karma is having an effect either globally or individually. So Jyotisha is the only way to prove the impact of karma. There's no other way to explain Jyotisha. So this field of Jyotisha is studied to help people understand the impact of their own karma, and I want to highlight that. It will also help advance the science, and someday, if we go deeper and deeper into this, we'll probably be able to predict earthquakes, including their location and their date. So this will happen over a period of time. So as we discuss this more, probably more researchers will go deeper into this. So when I pitched the idea of understanding seismology in connection with Jyotisha, a lot of like-minded people, including several brilliant people, offered to help with the analysis of the data. Maybe very soon, we will come to some important conclusions in this field. So far, this is just something I personally have seen, but very soon we'll get more accurate data from people who are very smart and very capable, even beyond me. So at this stage, I'd just like our viewers to pray for the world and make sure that, most of the time, natural disasters afflict the most vulnerable individuals. Probably many of you watching this video aren't even going to be afflicted by any sort of major natural disaster in the short term or the long term. It's people who lack homes. It's people who lack proper residences, people who are in vulnerable zones, seismic zones, who are going to be afflicted mostly. So let's pray for them all. And people with a lower socioeconomic status are most vulnerable to such dangerous situations. So let's pray for them all. And let's also understand that destiny plays a major role. And everything happens because it is destined to happen. And Jyotisha is just a facet of proving that. Eventually, of course, Jyotisha can help with identifying zones where such things could happen and help us prevent it as well. Jyotisha can be part of the destiny too. But let's just reflect upon the verses in the Gita. Kalos miloka kshayakrit pravriddha. Right? So Lord Sri Krishna says that he is time, and essentially everything happens because of his divine Leela. So, of course, we have another verse, Paritranaya sadhunam, which means that the Lord will always protect his devotees no matter what, spiritually and even materially at times. So let's pray and let's hope things go well, and keep chanting the names of the Supreme and keep meditating and continuing with your individual sadhanas. That's the best help you can do to yourself and the whole universe surrounding you. So thank you all again for listening to me today. And let's not panic as such. Let's just reflect on the world and how it works. And earthquakes are not something that we should be panicking about. Rather, we should be studying about in detail with an open mind. So to all seismologists who are very interested in this, you can also contact me through my website or our institute, and we can do some interesting research together. Again, there might be a lot of skeptics as well, but before we jump on the topic of skepticism of Jyotisha, which is a very wonderful topic to discuss, I'd like those skeptics to review my previous predictions, particularly the one in which I predicted the Israel-Hamas war 3 days before it happened. And I challenged them all to be able to prove how that was made or disprove the prediction as such. That'll be very interesting to watch, because so far, last time I challenged them publicly, there was no one who responded to me. So let's see if they have something to say this time. And until then, wish you all the very best for the upcoming Lunar New Year. And I'll also publish some of my detailed predictions, both for the astro-seismological aspects and also for, in general, the whole world over the next one lunar year. These predictions one may expect the 2nd or 3rd week of March, or probably around the beginning of the Lunar New Year, which is on the 29th of March. So, Jai Shri Krishna, Pranam.